Pisces. Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol, and this is going to be a general reading for November 2024. And I want to welcome you to my channel. If you're new, this is a fairly new channel. We're going to be a year old in December. And if you're coming back for another video or you've subscribed, I want to thank you as well. In today's reading, we're going to be doing the Yellow Cardinal Cross. And it's a reading that I've done on this channel before. And so if you think that you might be interested in having a personal reading done for you with the Yellow Cardinal Cross, or I have about 6 other readings actually that I have on offer for you, there's going to be a link for personal readings in the description box below and also in my comment section, and that'll take you to my website, Carol Cares, and it'll take you directly to the Yellow Cardinal page on my website where there's a description of all the readings that I offer for you. So you can take advantage of that if you would like a personal reading. So we're going to begin. I think that's everything I want to say. We're going to begin with the Ehrenberg Tarot, and then we're going to clarify that with the Tarot Vintage. All right, so the Yellow Cardinal Cross, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with, first of all, I'm going to look at the issue that you're dealing with right now. It could be a pattern, a struggle, decision you're having to make. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to clarify that with this deck. And it's going to be a card that's going to clarify, or it's going to be a card that's going to show me what's obscuring or blocking this situation in number 1. And then number 3, we're going to be looking at the conscious influence on this situation. So that'll be something you're very much aware of. Something that's going on with you right now that you're aware of that's influencing this situation. And then on my right, which is your left, we're going to be looking at the unconscious influence. And this is where we're going to be doing some shadow work, because this is something, there's something coming up from your unconscious to heal. There's something coming up from your shadow to heal. And you know, if you're unaware of those two terms, I've left a really good video for you in the description box below called My Powerful 4-Step Guide to Shadow Work. And that's taken from my other YouTube channel called Carol Cares. We have a lot of videos for your mental health challenges and for your own healing journey. And it's a video that I've put together myself because I've been on this intensive healing journey for about 7.5 years now to heal my own complex trauma. And I work with a trauma coach and still am. And so whatever is sitting in your unconscious or your shadow actually has the most impact on this situation that's going on in your life right now. We often think it's what we're consciously aware of, but it's actually the most impact is coming from your unconscious. It is the most powerful part of us in our system. And if only we all realize that if, you know, that's where our true self lies, is right there. And that's what we need to heal. So we're going to be looking at that, what needs healing. And then at the top, we're going to be looking at what's needed for resolution for this situation. And, you know, it's not going to be like some magical cure here. It's not what I'm here for. But the tarot is going to point out, you know, this is what you need to look at right now for to resolve this. And then we're going to get some specific guidance for you from the tarot, where they're going to say, okay, this is, of all of the situation here that's going on, this is where you start. Because oftentimes I hear people saying, you know, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to do shadow work. I have no idea where to start. And so, you know, you have to start where you are, and the tarot will know where you need to go. And so it'll tell you that. And then what I will do is I'll be giving you some feedback of my own. And then I'm going to suggest a couple more maybe playlists for you, some videos that relate directly to this situation you're dealing with, and they'll be taken from Carol Cares as well. And then I'm probably, if journaling or the need for journaling comes up in this reading, I'm going to suggest some writing prompts for you at the end. And I've been doing that with a lot of my videos. And because journaling is you know, journaling and grounding are my #1 tools that I use in my journey. And so I do parts therapy And so you're going to hear me talk about a bit about parts in here. So a lot of the cards represent some parts actually that we all have. We don't know we have. So we're going to start off and we're going to be looking at, I want an issue. So I want one card. Hopefully I'll just get one card. If I get two, then I'll use it as number 2 for the clarifier. But we're going to start off with one card for Pisces, please, for the issue that they're dealing with right now this month in November. And we get the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Let's have a clarifier or what's obscuring this. One card, please. Position number 2. One more card. Here we go. The 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords. Okay, a card for the conscious influence on this situation. The 7, another 7 of Cups. I had to look for the suit. 7 of Cups. It's my first time using this deck. Well, I used it yesterday for some readings, and then I love this deck actually. I was really excited when it finally came in the mail, and I love the way it shuffles. Now we're asking for the unconscious influence, number 4. I need to let the tarot know what I'm asking for here. What's the unconscious influence here that Pisces facing? What's coming up for healing in their shadow? Okay, try this again. There we go. Page of Swords. The Page of Swords. That's the unconscious influence. At the top, I need what's needed here for resolution. What's needed for resolution for Pisces in this situation? One card. Right at the beginning, the Ace of Swords. Page of Swords, the Ace of Swords. And that's going to be your second ace. We have another ace over here. I'll talk about that in a minute. So 2 aces. So the swords are coming out. You have the 7 of Swords, sword here. Yeah, so mostly swords on the table here. And finally, let's ask for the guidance from the tarot. One card, please. Guidance from the tarot. All right, I'm going to try to deal a different way. My hand's getting tired and it's not wanting to spit out. There we go. We got a couple cards here. So we have the 4 of Cups in reverse, and the King of Swords in reverse. Another sword here. Oh, I think I got another one here. I didn't see that one. Well, I'm going to take it because it's another King of Cups here. So I'm going to put that right here. Yeah. Didn't realize there was another one there. Okay, so let's ask for some clarifiers here. So I'm going to clarify the middle section, maybe 1 to 2 cards for these 2 cards, 7 of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Having just a little bit of difficulty with these cards for your reading, Pisces. They're not coming out. Sometimes that happens. There's one. And one more. One more here for the issue. There we go. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's what happens when you say too much, and then the tarot says, all right. All right. So for your clarifiers, you have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. You have the Six of Wands in reverse. And then you have the Ace of Wands in reverse. So 3 cards here. Another ace on the table, which is fantastic because, you know, we all want the aces, new beginnings, new starts. Let's clarify number 3, which is the conscious influence over here. 1 or 2 cards, please. There's one. That one battled to come out. Another sword, Queen of Swords. And I know it was battling to come out because I bent it. Here she is, the Queen of Swords. She came out sideways. I'll put her here. And the King of Wands in reverse. So that's another king on the table. With these 2. Now we're going to go to the unconscious influence way over here. I think I'm going to move these over. Oop. I want you to be able to see most of them. All right, so let's clarify this Page of Swords. Sorry, Page of Swords right here. A couple cards to clarify that. There's one. And one more. Oh, there we go. Came out nice and quick. Okay, so you have the Eight of Wands in reverse. Magician card comes out for you. And then at the top, the resolution, this Ace of Swords clarifier, please. Couple cards here for that. And you have the Temperance card. King of Cups comes out again. King of Cups here. Lots of kings on the table. Let's clarify these 3 cards at the bottom for the guidance from the tarot. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. The Emperor. I think that's enough. I understand what's going on here. Okay. Wow. Okay. Now, before I start your reading, this is going to be an interesting one, I can tell. There's just got a lot of dynamics going on here. I want to start off, Pisces, by your overriding energy for this reading. Now, back in January 2024, I put out my yearly readings, which are in my description box below. I pulled out 12 cards for each sign to represent 1 card for each month. And this is the month. This is the card you got for November. It's the Ace of Swords in reverse. The Ace of Swords, and you have a few aces on the table. So the ace always talks about an offer, a gift from the universe that says, listen, here's a new start for you. This is a new start we're going to be looking at. So consider November being, you know, a new start of the sword. And the sword talks about our mental energy, these mental thoughts that we've had built up over the years, things that people told us about ourselves. And I mean, as a kid, you would have, you know, taken that in like a sponge. And so this becomes our new reality for us because, believe it or not, we knew who we were when we were younger. And then as we grow up and people tell us things about ourselves, we take on this new reality of who you are. And so this month is going to be dedicated, I can see, for you to finding out your truth and what your reality, your new authentic self is and who you really are. And that's what that sword is. It's the sword of truth. It's like, I'm going to, you know, cutting through all the bullshit that I've been telling myself all these years and, you know, spinning it in my head and thinking that's what really is me. And our ego self has a habit of doing that. Well, it'll keep you up in your head because that's where it's the safest, right? Because you don't want to go into your body. No, because there's emotions in there, and the ego self is petrified of that. And I am talking about the ego self here because you have, I can't tell you how much masculine energy you have here, which is our ego self, right here in the bottom. And I will get to that. But right now, this is like, and this is in reverse, and so that's important because when an ace comes to you as an offer from the universe and says, here you go, here's a new chance at doing this, there could be a real resistance to doing it, a real fear to taking this sword, or you could be blocked. And I think you are really blocked here. And so we're going to show you, if you are feeling really blocked right now and a real resistance to going inwards and, you know, doing this healing journey and feeling some of your emotions, getting back in your body. Very understandable this month because you have a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of blocks going on right here. And so we'll talk about that when we get to it and how you can deal with that. So let's start off with the middle here and what issue you're dealing with and what situation, problem. So you're going to start off with this, the Knight of Pentacles here in reverse. And the knights in my deck, all the knights are talk about this part of us. It's an adolescent part of us, and everyone has this part, and it's that part that wants to be free, wants to be free to be themselves, wants to be free to be authentic, right? No surprise you started off with that sword, because that's the sword of your truth, of your authenticity and who you really are, Pisces. And so this part of you, there's this drive in you, and maybe you're feeling it, that wants to find out, like, who the frick am I? Like, who am I really? Because I think all our life we just keep telling ourselves these things, that who we think we are, but that's not who we are. And so there's this part of you that really wants to get back to who you are. And it's the pentacle. And the pentacle is all about the body. And all about grounding, getting grounded and getting back into our body and finding out who you are. And so I can see here this is going to be a month where you really, really, really need to focus on your grounding and learning how to ground, because you're going to be very much up in your head, and your ego self will keep taking you back up there. And so, because this freedom here, in order to find your authenticity, right? In order for this part to find your authenticity, because you want to find your authenticity and your truth, you have to be grounded. And then this Seven of Swords comes up, and it was kind of in this is what clarifies this knight. Like, why is this knight coming out here? And I mean, it's just kind of what I said, in a way where, you know, this Seven of Swords talks about, look at this individual that has this mask, right? Peeking out from the mask here. And I think you're starting to peek out a bit. Like, Seven of Swords talks about, it's called the Thief card. And it's this individual that is running away in the Rider-Waite deck with all these swords that they've stolen and they've collected, and they're sneaking away. And so I talked about swords, and this is very important that you know what the swords are. The swords are our mental energy, our mental thoughts, these things we tell ourselves, these things that we've picked up from other people. And this individual has run away with them. They've kind of inherited them. So, you know, think about yourself where you have all these inherited belief systems about yourself that people gave you, and they're not you, right? And so you ended up putting on this mask because you thought you were someone else when you were younger. And you did. When you were 4, 5, 6 years old, you knew who you were. But then people told you who you were, and bit by bit you had to put this mask on and walk out into society and say, well, this is what they told me I am. And so now you're wanting to peek here. There's a peek coming out here that you want to find out, well, who am I? Who am I under all of that? You know, fascinating that you got the Ace of Swords there. I can't tell you how right on that is for you this month. And then there's some clarifiers. You got 3 clarifiers after I told the tarot that, you know, they weren't spitting out anything for me. And there's the Wheel of Fortune here is in reverse here, but the Wheel of Fortune speaks about this change of circumstance. You know, this wheel turns in life and things happen to us, but And you know, I think there's needing a change of circumstance in your situation here, and maybe there has been a change of circumstance that is making you uh, the cause of you starting to lift your mask off. Like, who am I? There's something that's been going on here, but you know, here's the thing about the Wheel of Fortune. You have to understand that, you know, all these circumstances, things happen in our life and life continues to go on. But what's really important here is our reaction to each one of these big events that happens, whether they're traumatic or, you know, life-changing events that happen. What is our reaction to it? And right now, it's very blocked. It's turned it upside down. So I can tell there that it's almost like, you know, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this. But it's a change in circumstance for you. Something has happened here that is causing you to start to look at, well, who am I? You know, maybe I need to take off this mask. And then you have the Six of Wands coming here. Interesting. In an upright position, the Six of Wands speaks about... well, first of all my sixes in my deck have a duality to them. So in this particular case, you have this individual that's coming back from a... this is called the Victory card, really, where he's coming back from a battle. And it's a victory battle here, or victory march, I should say. And he's got this victory wreath on top of his wand, and he's got another one that he has on his head. And so very much on the outside, this card on the surface looks like it's a victory card, right? But there's a duality to this, so we need to look at what's on the other side of this. And on the other side of it is, if you pull that green blanket off of this horse here, that's going to show you what you've lost, right? The other side of victory is what you've lost. And often I refer to this card as, when we lose something, there's grief here that's sitting here. And so maybe there's been some kind of a loss for you, and you know you need to get to this grief. And I will say to you, out of all the emotions, out of shame and our fear and our joy and our hopelessness, grief is the most difficult one to get to, because it is blocked by our ego self that does not want to get to our emotions, because it's the petrified part of us. Hates emotions, hates them, and in particular despises grief. And so this is in reverse. So I can see here that you're definitely blocked. And I think that's what you need to realize on, you know, at the beginning of this reading, is that you have some grief because there's something that's happened here. And there's a part of you that wants you to get into your body. This part that's, you know, this freedom here that wants the freedom to feel this, needs to feel this. There's some grief here that needs to be felt. And then you end right here with the Ace of Wands in reverse. And so here's another beginning here. The universe wants to take you in a different direction, right? Behind this grief, when you get at this grief, the reason we grieve it, because it brings in something new, and we get some more clarity. And it's like it's just another level, and we go through many periods of grief in our life. And so the universe wants to take you. It's another offer, a gift here of, I want to take you in a new direction, because the wands are in, you know, talk about the direction we're going into. But it's blocked. And it's understandable. You have an Ace of Swords that's blocked here. So when I say it's blocked, it's because your ego self is very much involved in this reading, and we're going to get to it. So let's look at what you're consciously aware of about this situation that you're sitting in, this blocked grief. You're consciously aware of the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is a card that speaks about, look at everything on this card. There's a lot going on in this card. There's you know, there's some coins here. Speaks of, you know, the money, material world. There's a beautiful crown here at the back with this skeletal figure, this castle in the back, and a beautiful dove here, you know. And then there's a snake that goes downwards. And so, like, it's like, what's going on in this card? There's so much here. And that's exactly what's going on in your life right now. You got a lot going on. You got a lot going on. And when we need to face our grief, we have a lot going on because it's a distraction. This is your outer world right here, and it's full of distractions right now. And so I think you know that you're very distracted. We can keep ourselves very, very busy because if we don't want to face this, our ego self will keep us running, keep us up in our head. Busy, 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 and focused on the outside world. So much going on because the last thing it wants you to do is to go inwards. And what's the next card? Well, she was sideways here. Here's your Queen of Swords, right? Swords is going to be, I'm seeing some wands and some swords. So wands is taking you into a new direction, and swords is your mental energy. And so who is the queen in my deck? And we're going to talk about the king in a minute. But the queen, there are two sides of us. Two sides of everyone. Has nothing to do with your gender, but we all have a feminine side and we all have a masculine side. And so the queen, our feminine side, has been repressed for many, many years. And she's the side that has the emotions and the authenticity and the creativity and the intuition. These beautiful, beautiful qualities that we all have, but have been repressed over the years. And she has the sword here. She has the sword of your truth, of your authenticity. And only you can get to it through getting back in your body. The queen loves the body. She is the body. And so you're going to have a battle here between this powerful queen here and this king. And no surprise that this king, I talked about wands and I talked about swords. And this king here is coming up right behind her. There's this battle here. So you're sitting here with this Seven of Cups. And you're like I said, you're busy. Your focus is on the outside world. And then you've got this queen that's coming in. And she's kind of feeling a bit repressed here. She's like, she might be feeling a little bit hopeless. And maybe some anger here going on because she's wanting you to take on this quality of the queen, of getting back into your body, getting grounded into your body so you can get out of your head. But this king is having a battle with her right now. And it's the King of Wands that says, this is bullshit. All this, what I'm telling you right now is all bullshit. There's no new direction for you. He's talking about the wand here. He has the wand sitting here. There's no such thing as you taking your life, putting yourself first and doing something maybe there's something that you want to do, and maybe there's, this grief is blocking it. Because oftentimes when we want to go into this new direction, and the universe I can see is trying to push you into this new direction here, but there's this big hump, this big wall of grief that you're having to face right now. And this king wants nothing to do with it, and will tell you that this whole journey that you're on and you trying to get to this grief, it's like, no way. This is a bunch of bullshit, and don't go there. Do not go there. And oftentimes when I journal from that part of me that doesn't want me to go to the grief, I will literally start journaling and I'll say, don't go there. It's dangerous. Don't go there. And that's what I'll start my journaling with, because that part right now is wanting to come out, and it is out, and it does not want you to go there. So what's coming up from your shadow right now that is really having the biggest impact on why you won't touch this grief, and why your ego self, which is the king, don't know if I mentioned it actually, he's the masculine side of us. He's the ego self. So I've been talking about how the ego will keep you up in your head. So why is this ego self coming out and blocking you? Because believe it or not, it thinks that it's protecting you, because it came out when you were younger, when you had big emotions to deal with. It would have shut them all down, because we couldn't deal with big emotions when we were younger. But we can now. We're adults now, right? And so these emotions come up for us to heal. So let's see what's coming up in your shadow for you to heal right now. And you start off with the Ace of Swords. You have the Ace of Swords right here in reverse. So in the Ace of Swords, when you were younger, oh, sorry, Page of Swords, difference, big difference here. Page of Swords, it was the writing I couldn't see at the bottom. So Page of, what is sitting here? Well, the pages in my deck are our inner children. We have more than one inner child. I know mainstream psychology likes to say we just have one, but I've been on this intensive healing journey long enough to know that I have more than one inner child that holds different emotions, different memories. In this particular page, which is our inner child, 4, 5, 6 years old, knew who they were. There's the sword of your authenticity sitting right in the front of your shadow here. This is an inner child that needs healing. When a page comes out in my deck, it tells me that there's an inner part of yours that needs healing. It was the part that knew who they were when they were younger. When they were 4, 5, 6 years old, they knew who they were. But people told them, here's these 7 of Swords right here. People told them otherwise. And they said, no, no, you're not like that. Where you would have maybe tried to grieve, tried to show your emotions, and you were told, no, no, put those away. Put that tough mask on, and that's what you're going to wear instead of wearing, your feelings on your sleeve. We don't do that in society. We put those away. And so this is sitting, you have repressed the authentic, your young child was repressed. The authentic part of you was put away. And, and here's the 8 of Wands. And, this reading is all about swords and wands. 8 of Wands is the direction that you want to take your life in. And it was like a focus. And I think, when we were younger, like I said, 4, 5, 6 years old, we knew who we were and we knew why we came on this planet to do something. And there was a real focus for you. But when this happened, when you were told as a young person that, this isn't who you are, you lost focus because you thought that's what you were. And so you start to come out when you're younger and you start to show different sides of yourself. And it's like, no, put that one away. No, put that one away. And so that focus of who you really were, you lost focus of who you were. Magician card comes out as the last card for your shadow here. And the Magician card is the manifester. The absolute manifester, that manifesting part that we have in us. And it is, oftentimes you hear about manifestation. People can manifest things, and that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true that you can manifest something in your life. But if you are not grounded, because this magician can manifest anything. Look at his wand here that he holds up in the air. And so he's holding it up for like the divine to come through. So he's acting like this lightning rod where source, God, spirit, whatever you want, he's gonna take in the energy, the power, the knowledge, the wisdom of above, and he's gonna take it in, but he's not gonna hold on to it. He's going to ground it into the earth right here. Here's the earth below his feet here, and he's going to ground it. He has everything at his disposal. When this comes up, it tells me that you have everything in you. All your answers are in you. I was told that at the beginning of my own healing journey from my own healing coach, trauma coach, and she told me that you have all your answers in you. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, I wanted so much for somebody to tell me what to do, right? Just give me the answer of what to do. But no, you have everything in you, but you need to be grounded. You have to be grounded. And so this is very much what's happening here is when you were younger, like I said, You know, the authentic self, the one that you're wanting to get at this month, is buried in your shadow, and all your answers of who you were, because you were very much taken in a different direction in your life, it's all here in your shadow. But you just have to get grounded into your body. And so let's look at the top here. What is needed for resolution? Well, I don't make this shit up. You saw me deal it at the beginning. Here's the Ace of Swords. You need to get back to who you are. You need to take the sword. You need to make the decision, Pisces, that I want to figure out who I am. I know there's someone else out there. I can feel it in me. And I can feel this freedom in me that's wanting to take this sword and cut through that bullshit that people told me who I was. Because there's so much more that's sitting in your shadow, in your unconscious, that's meant to be discovered, healed and discovered. Believe it or not, we actually have gifts that we came to this planet with, that are sitting in our shadow. Tarot is one of my gifts that I've discovered. I didn't know about tarot till about 5 years ago. And I told you I've been on this journey for 7.5 years. So part of my healing has been to discover that I'm a tarot reader. I had no idea. I didn't know what tarot was, years ago. So here's your Ace of Swords. You've got to take it on. Got to cut through this bullshit. But the resolution part of it is realizing that Temperance card, this is a process. This is a journey. You're going to go on this journey. That's what you need to go on. This journey to find out who you really are. And this month you're going to start to peel off the mask. You're going to decide, I'm going to do this. But you're going to have the King here come out. Okay, so you've got some kings coming out here, and you got a king here. And we talked about king over here. I want you to remember, whenever I hit a king, it's your ego self. And by now, I don't know if you've clicked off, because oftentimes our ego self will say, this is bullshit. She's bullshit. What's she talking about? Your ego self doesn't want anything to do with me. Your ego self wants to keep you up in your head. And this ego self says, don't you dare go to that grief. Don't you dare touch your emotions. Don't you dare go into your body. It has the cup here. It hates emotions. It's petrified of them. It's a very petrified part. So it's going to try to block you. And that's what the universe wants you to know. It's going to try to block you. But you can keep on trying to ground and get back into your body. Get back into your body. Ground, ground, ground. I'm going to put grounding as a playlist for you, for sure. What's the guidance from the tarot? So we had 3 cards here before we had the clarifier. So in reverse, you have the 4 of Cups, the King of Swords, and the King of Cups. Well, there's our lot more blocking right here. So let's start off with the 4 of Cups in reverse. The 4 of Cups in reverse. So let's talk about what this is in an upright position. This is an individual. We talk about the cups. Cups are about our emotions, our desires, our needs, our wants, wishes. And there's a cup here that's being offered. And you've had a few offers out on the table here. And it's an offer from the universe. But this particular individual has already 3 cups. You can't see them in this picture, but they have their arms crossed. And that's very important, because here's 1 cup, but there's 3 other cups. And this individual says, I have 3 cups, thanks. I don't want to go any further. I don't want to go deeper. I'm done with healing. I don't want to touch these feelings. I don't want to touch this grief. I'm done. And I don't want this cup. And so it's an individual that refuses to take this cup. And this is in reverse here. And the universe wants you to take this cup. You need to take this cup. You need to decide that it's time to feel. It's time to feel this grief right here. And because you have a Page of Swords here that's sitting that needs healing. And when our inner children need healing, we tend to not listen to them. They need to be listened to. They need to be heard. And we have to feel their feelings. And there's a lot of feelings there when your true you, your true self was not allowed to come out. And so the universe just says, well, it's time to start to feel. You have the King of Swords and then you have the King of Cups in reverse right after it. Here's your ego self, double whammy. Here's the one that says, authenticity wants nothing to do with authenticity. You had a card here where you're starting to, take away your mask and peel away and say, who am I without this mask? Well, this particular king here, this King of Swords, will want you to keep your mask on. Doesn't want you to be authentic. You keep that mask on. When you go out in society, you put those masks on. Don't you dare take that mask off and find out who you are. And here's the King of Cups. We already talked about the King of Cups. You have him right up here. All about emotions. They're going to block your emotions. When you start to lift that mask away, and when you decide to feel some of your emotions, your ego self is going to come out. And it's going to block you. And you're going to know when you don't do it, I don't want to do this, I can't do this. It's your ego self. And that's your message to go and ground. And then the final card that comes in, it's the Emperor card. Another masculine energy. This is from the Major Arcana in an upright position. This is the number 4. So you have the number 4. 4 is like a solid, rigid card, and this whole line speaks about solid and rigid and not wanting to move, like rock solid. And the Emperor is very much a figure of, I call him Mr. Emperor because he really demands respect. And he's sitting in this chair. He's been there for so long. It's stone, it's hard, it's cold, and he represents all the things that we've been told growing up. All the things that we've been told. He's kind of like a father figure where they spew out all these rules. He represents the rules of society. Society says this. Society says we got to keep these masks on. We got to keep these masks on because what's right and what's wrong. And so he's very much a figure of what's right and what's wrong. I can't remember if he was in reverse or not. But it really is time to question what sort of rules, imaginary rules you're living by. Because this night at the beginning, the first card that came out in your reading, it wants nothing to do with this imaginary rules. It's fighting those imaginary rules. It does not think of a teenager who's fighting to get free. Doesn't want to deal with any of these rules. And that's where this part's coming out. And it's like you have to know that you are going to be very much blocked and fought along the way as you try to push yourself through November and find out who your authentic self really is. And so I want to give you a playlist on grounding, and I'm going to give you a playlist on I think grief. And once you start to ground yourself, and people think grounding is really Zen-like, and it's not. It's when we get in our body and we start to feel emotions. And so once you practice grounding, I show you how. I bring you in my backyard and I show you how to ground in these playlists. That grief is going to come up. And it's going to come up when you don't even know it's coming up. It could come up when you're in a grocery store and you start to cry. But it's you'll know grief. It's not just crying. It's like this real heavy grieving. It almost sounds like you're laughing, but you're not. And you'll know grief. And that's what your younger child here is wanting you to feel. This younger part of you is that grief when it was put away, when your real self was repressed when you were younger. So this is an awesome reading for you, Pisces. I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This is a very difficult journey, but it's the most important journey of your life to find out who you really are, your authentic self, right? So I'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. Take care.